What's up, everybody? Roll Tide. Welcome into Catfish Courtside. Alabama winners again this past weekend over the Georgia Bulldogs, 90-69. It was kind of just Bama took care of business type game, great atmosphere, but bracketology, something we ain't talked about in a few days. Bama's in a different spot than they were just one or two shows ago. We're going to break that down right now. Let's get it going. Alabama basketball, man, moving on up, as they say. All right, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the channel. I'm Chad Anderson. This is Catfish Courtside. Appreciate you hanging out. We're into the month of February now. Alabama has survived the gauntlet of the SEC with only one slip-up. That was against the Ole Miss Rebels, who could not get it done against the Auburn Tigers at the pad. What do they call it? The Pavilion now of some sort. Some husband-wife name, I think. Pavilion. Used to be Pad, the Tad Pad or something like that. But Auburn stays undefeated, only one loss on the year. They're still, well-deserved number one. But Alabama, 19-3 now overall. They're 8-1 in the SEC. They're the only other team in the conference with less than 2 losses. Alabama with the only blip as of this point is Ole Miss that happened in Tuscaloosa. People complain about that Ole Miss game. But really, I look back at it, and I think the Ole Miss game may be what is making this Alabama team who they are. If they had cruised into that, does the fierce competitive nature ramp up? And not that Bama wasn't competitive, not that they didn't try, but look at what the trend has been since that point. Nate Oates has now blamed himself twice. He's benched Mark Sears. He has benched Clifford Amore. He has talked about how nobody is above the program. He's talked about practices, effort, hustle, blue collar, hard hat, all those things. And I just don't know if Alabama, the basketball team, would be in this same spot had they cruised to a victory over Ole Miss. Like those kinds of games, sometimes they wake you up, they catch your attention, and they go, oh crap, maybe we need to focus a little bit more. And we can't just walk through the rest of this schedule. We can't sleepwalk against every opponent other than maybe like Auburn and Tennessee and maybe Kentucky or something. No, that caught their attention. That was maybe, if there is such a good thing, that was a good loss, in my opinion. Looking back, I don't think that Alabama would necessarily be 8-1 if they had not lost to Ole Miss. I could be completely wrong. That's my opinion. I don't know that they would have, because you can tell there were some things going on under the surface. Nate Oates addressed it. He's talked about it. And now, since then, Bama's gone on the road, beat Kentucky, blew out Vanderbilt, struggled a little bit with LSU, and that's what the whole Mark Sears thing. Went on the road, beat Mississippi State, come back home, handle a Georgia team who's in the field of 68 as of right now. You do it 90-69. It was never really close. Mike White would complain and tell you that calls were the difference, but that wasn't the case. And he got teed up in the game. But looking at that, I don't know, again, that this team would be where they are had they not lost. And I also think that loss is going to really help them over the next 2 games. Now, Arkansas is the next one up. That was a massive win for Coach Cal at Rupp Arena, beating Kentucky on the road. That was huge. But it was also big for Alabama because now Bama, they were going to go up against the lowly little 1-6 Arkansas team who sucked and they stink in the SEC. And Bama was just going to, again, go into Fayetteville and you walk right into a booby trap. But Arkansas beating Kentucky, now it catches Bama's attention. Now they know we can't just show up and win. Then you got Texas on the road. Texas beat Texas A&M. I understand Texas's record, and they don't have as many like great marquee wins. They haven't really like shown out. But again, those wins actually help get Alabama focused, especially Arkansas, because it's happening right before Bama travels. And Bama also gets a week off between Georgia and the Hogs. No midweek game this week for the Crimson Tide. They go to Arkansas, then they go to Texas, then they come back home for the big match against Auburn. We'll talk about it more, but the thing that scares me the most about that Texas game is the fact that, one, it's on the road. Two is the fact that it's right before the Auburn game. So you know everybody's going to be talking about Auburn, and that could spell upset. So a huge mental test coming up for Alabama over the next two games. Going to play bottom half SEC type teams, both on the road, but at least Arkansas, kind of put a spotlight a little bit on themselves, beating Kentucky on the road on Saturday night. Looking at some numbers from the Georgia game, Bama led at half 39-28. They outscored the Dogs 51-41 in the second frame, 19-3, like I said, 8-1 now in SEC play. Georgia falls to 15-7. They're 3-6 in the Southeastern Conference. They're really struggling on the road. They were Arkansas's only win in the conference before the Hogs beat the Cats. They got beat by 30, I think it was, in Gainesville, lose by 21 here. They hung with Auburn a little bit at home. They're just a different team. They hang around at home, get some wins. They really struggle on the road. Alabama taking advantage of it. For the box score, Bama, 5 players once again in double figures. Mark Sears leading the way, averaging 18 points per contest this year. He had 20 on Saturday night. Also, Chris Youngblood into double figures once again, back-to-back games for him. He was 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. Grant Nelson, solid game, 16 points. He had 5 blocks, 10 rebounds, so he got a double-double. Amori, 6 points, 11 rebounds. Jaron Stevenson on the board with 8 points. And then go to the bench. The bench, once again, coming in, they pick up 30 points on the night. The 2 in double figures. Aiden Holloway had 10. He hit 2 threes. And Aiden Sherrill, this is the one that stepped up and really surprised everybody. Not that it was, Aiden Sherrill carried Alabama to a victory against Georgia like Chris Youngblood did against Mississippi State, but Aiden Sherrill definitely made his presence known really for the first time. He had played limited minutes. He played 20 against the Dogs, scored 12 points. That was a career high. And just all around, a solid effort from him defensively, offensively. He was actually 2 of 3 from three-point land, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, had 7 rebounds. Just overall, very impressive game. And if Alabama, again, can create more depth, and Sherrill's gotten into some games, but it's always been 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and he really handled himself well and did a very nice job for Alabama. If they can continue to build that depth, think of the length, okay? The length that Alabama has here. Jaron Stevenson, and he can shoot the outside. I know he hasn't done well, but he can. Grant Nelson, length, can also now dribble drive, has the ability to knock down the 3. Clifford Amori, obvious big man, 7-footer, transfer from Rutgers, huge presence in the paint. Darion Reed can go inside, can go outside. Maybe, arguably, one of Bama's best defenders, although the next guy, Mo Diabate, who is just a beast, won the Hard Hat Award again with the blue-collar basketball on Saturday night. Then Aiden Sherrill. Like, you're just naming guys. That's 6 guys who can all play down low, and really all of them but Amori can shoot the ball from the outside. That's what makes Alabama just so incredibly dangerous. Huge, huge win. Nice job on the depth as well, building that for Bama as we go down the stretch. Excuse me. All right, let's take a look at what's coming up. Well, actually, let's do some team stats real quick just to see how bad Alabama outperformed Georgia. Bama, again, almost 3 games. It's 2 of the last 3. They barely missed it in the last contest against Mississippi State. But Bama shot 53% from the field, 42% from beyond the arc, 83% from the free throw line, out-rebounded Georgia 52-36. The Dogs actually out-rebounded Bama offensively 16-9, but again, Bama shot 53% from the field. Turnovers, that was a problem. Alabama had 20, sloppy on that at times, but they shot the ball so well, and Georgia didn't convert because points off turnovers, Georgia only had 9. So when they were given chances, they couldn't make anything happen for themselves, couldn't create any momentum. So, that's it. Alabama, big win, easy win. And now they look ahead to Arkansas and then Texas. Couple of other things. Latrell Wrightsell. Looks like they are hopefully going to get a medical red shirt for him, which would bring him back for his 6th season. So hopefully Wrightsell gets the medical red shirt. If so, he's going to be back with Alabama next year. That would be huge for the Crimson Tide going into next season. That's big. Second thing, Alabama has now moved up again. The latest bracketology, get this, Auburn clear number 1 overall right now. They've only lost 1 game. They're undefeated in the conference. The 1 loss was on the road at Duke. You can't argue that you should be ahead of Auburn right now. Bama, though, according to Joe Lunardi, leapfrogs Duke for the number 2 overall seed. So if everything holds serve, and by the way, Iowa State lost over the weekend, so Bama will move up to number 3 in the AP poll. But if everything holds serve for the next 12, 13, whatever days, couple of weeks, call it, number 1 Auburn and number 2 Alabama, according to Joe Lunardi. Now, the AP poll, it may be 1 versus 3 unless Duke slips up. Auburn and Bama both have to win. They each have 2, 3, 4 games between now and then. But you're looking at 2 trains headed for a major collision on February 15th. But can't get ahead of ourselves. Arkansas first, Texas second, then the Auburn Tigers. But how insane would it be if Auburn's 1 and Bama's 2, according to Lunardi's overall seeding in the bracketology world? That would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. I would have never, ever thought that day would come. 1 Auburn, 2 Bama in Tuscaloosa for basketball. Insane. Unbelievable. I hope it happens. That place will be electric on February 15th, 3 p.m. tip-off for that one. But Arkansas, Texas. Don't forget that. Arkansas, Texas first. Then Auburn. Then Auburn. Arkansas, Texas first, then Auburn. All right. Let's thank all of our good friends. First, Pearl River Resort. You know these guys. Amazing. They got the azaleas, the oaks, the courses, the Augusta you can actually play. Unbelievable clubhouse. Jake and Mick did the Bama Tailgate Show from inside of that golf clubhouse back in the fall. It's unbelievable. Check that out. And then obviously while you're there playing golf, or if you're not a golfer, you've got the casinos, you got the slots, you got the tables, you got the Timeout Sports Lounge. Go drop Bama to win the Natty. Get your Super Bowl bets in. You got the buffets, you got the spa, you got the restaurants, you got the rooms. You got it all. Go check them out. Philadelphia, Mississippi, our good friends over at Pearl River Resort. They'll hook you up. They'll take care of you. Tell them the Bama Tailgate channel sent you from YouTube. And again, those guys, absolutely fantastic. Can't thank them enough for always being with us, having our backs. NewLifeArt.com, promo code Bama Tailgate. Look, Bama beats Auburn. Bama Final Four, Bama National Championship. You're going to have a D Moore print coming. No, you better get in there and start the collection now. Bama Tailgate is the promo code, NewLifeArt.com. Check those guys out. Hit the code. Grab something. They look amazing on the walls. I can speak to it. They look amazing. You need to check those guys out. And then, of course, I got to toot my own horn for just a minute. Let's not do that one. Let's do this one here. All right, 0 down. Let's go. Buy a house, 0% or 0 down payment. Okay. Buy a home, 0 money down. You can get into a home literally with nothing out of pocket. Scan that QR code, visit my website, chadwickanderson.com. Text me, email me, phone numbers, emails, all on the screen right here. Follow me on social media at Mortgage Dad Chad. We also have HELOC Express. Look, odds are you have revolving debt. You have credit card debt. You have debt you don't want or at high interest rates. I get it. Everybody has had it at some point in their lives. We are throwing you a lifeline. HELOC Express is out. HELOC Express gets you money in your bank account in 5 days in order to help consolidate all this bad debt that you may have accumulated. If you just want to talk mortgages, you want to talk some shop, you want to talk HELOCs, you want to ask questions, hit me up for that. You don't have to only apply. You can reach out, ask questions, get an idea of what you're trying to do, and we can put together the best scenario for you. All right, that'll wrap it up. Alabama again, winners 90-69 over the Georgia Bulldogs. Bama now 19-3 overall, 8-1 in the SEC. They're going to be number 3 in the AP poll when it arrives. Crimson Tide, again, what we thought this season could be, so far panning out. All right, have a great rest of the week. We'll be back on the channel with more basketball content. And as always, roll Tide.